Hi families, welcome to school year 2025-2026. It's so wonderful to have all of you, becoming part of our school family. It's lovely to see these first days happening over the next couple of weeks. A lot of kids have already had their first day, and really in just a week or so, a matter of days, are really starting to settle in and get the flow and understand how things work. So it's wonderful to see all those things coming together and the kids starting to enjoy themselves and play and feel comfortable at school. I'm highlighting a few things in this newsletter. All the details are below for those of you that like all the nitty gritty. But here are some of the highlights. So first off is the health policy. So yay for a lot of your new families. School has started, you're here, but now you're in this group environment where now a lot of just more mixing up with other people and exposure to all the germs of life is going to start happening. So we do try as much as possible to have that not happen, but it's just a part of being at school. Inevitably, we're washing hands tons, we're disinfecting things, we're doing laundry every day, but still our little ones are going to get sick. And in fact, if your child never got sick for the first 5 years of their life, that would actually be really dangerous, right? So they are going to get sick. We like to obviously, keep it to a dull roar. But read all the details below. The full health policy is in the handbook. You can always ask me for it. But the big things are, we're always going to call and send them home for rashes. Those can be contagious things, and we're not medical professionals, so we can't diagnose them. But if you go and get that note that same day, you can return a couple hours later if the note says they may return to childcare and they're not contagious. So feel free to do that, but rashes will always be checked out. And then with all the other symptoms, yes, if they're sick and can't participate in school, we're going to call you. They're going to go home if they have a fever. But the big thing is they need to be symptom-free for 24 hours. And that clock starts when the symptoms end. That clock does not start when the symptoms start. So if they get a fever, like 101.2 fever at school, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that does not mean you can bring them to school the next day at 2 o'clock when it would be 24 hours, because that was when the symptoms started. But let's say they woke up in the morning and didn't have a fever anymore. So that's 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Then 24 hours after that, if they are still symptom-free and they've been symptom-free for 24 hours, then they can come back to school. So that's what the 24-hour rule means. But please ask questions, read below all of the details, but just know and kind of plan ahead that we do the best we can, but inevitably there's going to be a couple colds, and especially for our littlest little ones, hand, foot, and mouth, but we will do our best and just be in communication with you about that. The other thing I want to highlight is the importance and the legal requirement to be signing children in. So I know in the first couple days and weeks, especially for our new families, you're bringing all this stuff and your child's upset and maybe you're upset and you don't know where things go. So definitely there's this grace period of figuring out kind of your routine and getting everything in the flow. But it is legally required that you sign in your child every day. Again, fully read below all of the details. But you need to sign in your child on the ProCare app. You should be using your full legal signature. It should be your name, like when you put in the PIN is for each adult. It's not the child's PIN, it's the adult's PIN. So mom, dad, and the 3 to 6 other people on your pickup list each have their own PIN. And that is fulfilling the legal requirement that we are tracking who is dropping off and picking up, and that person is signing them in. So technically, every time I sign a child in, I am breaking the law. I am not supposed to do that. I'm doing that because I want to know who's here and I'm trying to give some grace and have everyone learn, but I'm really not supposed to do that. And the center can be cited and fined for every missing signature. And so lots of other centers, after the beginning little bit of time, will require that parents drive back to the center and sign them in person, and we'll have like a $50 fine for every missing signature. So I would like to not have to do that. Let's just learn in these couple of weeks, get in a good routine, and sign children in and out and keep it simple. That would be fantastic. Some other little reminders is there's different places where you can find the calendar. It's always posted right by the tablet outside of the office. It is also on the church's website in the preschool section. It's in Parent Square. So if you're ever wondering, just those dates for the early Fridays when we close at 3 p.m. for staff meetings, or are we closed for Labor Day, or are we closed for Veterans Day, which we're not, we don't close for Veterans Day. But you can look all that up on the calendar, and you can find it in some, a couple different places. And, look at all the details below. The last thing is you can now make payments on ProCare. So the church decided to kind of upgrade some of their, more dated legacy accounting systems. And so we're now able to do payments through ProCare. So please check that out. There's a couple different posts and details. Let me know if you have difficulty, and you can always still just come into the office and make a payment. You can always still just pay by check. But if you want to set up recurring payments or use an FSA credit card, which I know was a struggle before, you can now do that. You can go in and pay by credit card and use an FSA credit card to pay your tuition on ProCare. So welcome to the new school year. We're happy you're here. I am looking forward to that kind of end of September time when we just really hit our groove, and just know that it's totally normal. These first few weeks can be really exhausting, and it's a lot of information and confusing, but every year we get there, and it's just that couple weeks to form a new habit, form relationships. We're super glad you're here, and we're, enjoying getting to know your little ones. So happy new school year. Bye, everybody.